Will you like the combination of magnetic base low shafts? Testing peripheral supervisors. Low-profile switch keyboards have always had market potential. For example, my first dwarf switch was an Alien. When I first used a low-profile switch for the 510K, the feel is still very steady. Newfie is also a low-profile switch for Sword Circle. It's the ceiling. The quadruple roll lasted so long. It also stayed true to the outcome. Not only does it take the stage, but it also delivers top-tier performance and drive. So, how is the actual user experience? Let me give it a try. This keyboard is the first to be published on JD.com. The first to be snatched. There aren't any special bonuses either. Let's look at the exterior first. As a dwarf porcelain type with 60 rows, the black and white top cover uses anodized clay spraying, which feels quite good. The back is also a simple lumine plate. Standard operation. One thing I especially like is the toggle switch. When I first got it, I thought it was like switching connection modes like a mechanical keyboard. I thought it was a Samo keyboard. I took a look and realized it was a keyboard mode switch. For someone like me who often plays around, I write copywriting or play other games. 0.01 running RT often makes me realize Flash, which is quite frustrating. With this switch, it's convenient. I can directly switch to game mode or the work mode. The lower part of the keyboard is less than 14 centimeters tall. If you're used to using a normal keyboard, or if you prefer hand support, it will definitely be uncomfortable to use. Newfie also takes this into account in terms of configuration. It also means the rider supports the overall weight of Newfie. Only 550 grams belong to a new track of lightweight design. This type is paired with this small array. It's very friendly for those who frequently switch game environments. You don't have to carry a keyboard weighing 1 or 2 kilograms every day and run around all the time, right? For electric shoes, I give them a perfect score with a standard black and white POM keycap. The transparent keycap on the right is a supplementary keycap. The UV comes standard with you right out of the box. If you don't like transparent hats, you can also change your black and white hat into this one. I'm still quite satisfied. In short, I've been using it for over a week and basically don't have any worries. Overall, the lighting effect is quite good. There is hardly any light leakage. Including the colorful marquee, the effect is quite smooth. There are also flowing color light strips on both sides. Let's briefly appreciate its lighting effects. I jump it across for Iwodo Tading Tido. Kazio Wari Lielo Idruala Nidra Walanaforio. The standard feature I have is a word name, and its pressing force is very light. Only 30 grams, and pressing it down makes it very easy to process. That's how the Switch expert is, but it's really easy to accidentally touch it. So the mode switching mentioned earlier, the necessity of buttons is evident. The Switch has good light transmission, but it is a lower lamp position. I suggest you buy some test course caps yourself. The effect after switching to it is quite good. Later, after I switch to the test course and cap, I'll also give you a reverse map. The overall movement of the Switch is quite good. You can see front, back, left, and right, and the wobble is pretty small. Having discussed switches, so as usual, let's listen to the typing sound of this keyboard. The tuning for large parts feels average, and the low switches have always felt rather disappointing. However, being quieter is also an advantage of low-profile switches. Next, let's talk about the drive function and the soil method to test the stability of 0.01 RT. First, enter the driver's mode switching page. It can be customized, allowing you to adjust the mode yourself. That's fine too, just add a 3-way modification yourself. Once you enter the driver, it's simple and clear, unlike every family, which requires you to understand its meaning yourself. Click on the trigger settings. First, pay attention to one of your switches. Because my switch is on the driver, the initialization configuration is incorrect. I am a mini word domain, but when you open the driver, it shows a word domain enthusiast. You touch the grave. This is a bit problematic. You can make a change in the switch selection section. After you've replaced it, you can just click this to recalibrate. This calibration is an automatic calibration. Very friendly. I can KO 2 mirrors here. It's because after I just removed the switch, it might be a bit of an issue. I'll be able to reset it later. For the king of callers, you can click the trigger settings to select them individually. If you want to set the call king, you can set RT and dead zone. RT now supports 0.01. Of course, you need a quick one here. Trigger the scale to switch between the two. I've already maxed out my WASD settings, including a 0 dead zone and a 0.01 RT. The left trigger effect demonstrates that after you press the button, it will update in real time on your page. This is actually quite easy to use. The distribution settings page is also pretty well done. This kind of keycap effect is rare. It can be directly mapped to a single driver. What color do you want to set? Just check the driver, including a bar and so on. It also supports adjustments. Then let's go to the game chart method to test if it works well. A usage scenario and violent use. Is there a phenomenon of broken contact? First, let's talk about normal use. I'll start with the WASD as normal. For example, pressing one button repeatedly to push the sign, or pressing OKSA repeatedly. Also keep pressing down. Okay, it keeps getting better, and then we have a brute test. First, I hold down W individually, then I can perform a strong swing. Okay, it's also constant. Then perform an A, also a very strong shake, okay, and continuous movement. Then came S. Okay is also constant, then D. Okay, he keeps going too. Then, for example, pressing several keys will shake the well-formed ones. Now, the 0.01 precision is working normally, and even one violent use has passed testing. Let's summarize this keyboard. It's top-tier performance driver. Top-tier looks are up to par. The feel is personally disappointing, or should we maintain a neutral attitude? Personally, I don't really like keyboards with a small layout. For office work or AAA gaming, too many function buttons are missing. But for a short shaft, it is definitely a T0. For a magnetic switch, I think it's pretty standard. Then, there's a recommendation for character selection. If you are someone who is shorter than the second size or often has to move the keyboard to different places, Nuno is definitely worth joining. Its performance and deformability are top tier. If you are looking for a cost-effective option, I think this keyboard is an option. You can choose 0.01 Kyoto for around 800. At this price point, this is a standard approach, but the feel is rather poor. Now 499 has also switched to 0.02, so I don't think it's very meaningful. If you're purely a feel-good gear, that would be completely off. As for the feel, I can only say it's acceptable for a low-profile switch. But when you put it in a magnetic arm pad or keyboard ring, that's definitely the most impressive tier. Okay, that's all for this NuFi overall recommendation. If you think this video can help you make a choice, please kindly follow, comment, and follow. Thank you very much for your support. I'll continue to bring you more video explanations. See you next time.